All right, welcome to Your Left Politics. I'm your host, Superior, also host of Why I Hate Politics. And today, we're going to be talking about Blue MAGA, what that is, why that shouldn't be, and why this is almost as destructive as MAGA, the Republican Party, why that's as destructive as that today. So, if you don't know, let me go ahead and give you a definition of what Blue MAGA is and tell me, be honest with yourself. Let me know, does this sound correct to you? Blue MAGA is a political slang term usually used critically to describe Democrats or Democratic Party supporters who are seen as displaying some of the same behaviors they criticize in supporters of Donald Trump and the MAGA movement. So here's a few examples of what MAGA or Blue MAGA displays that we often criticize MAGA Trump supporters in doing. One, shutting down criticism from people within their own party, dismissing anyone in their own movement who questions party leaders, attacking fellow Democrats or progressives for criticizing the party, prioritizing party loyalty over honest debate and discussion, and last but not least, treating internal criticism as betrayal rather than a chance to improve. Now, just real quick, let's have an honest conversation because I was one of these people, and especially living the past 10-ish years of a Donald Trump and this racist, bigot, harmful, destructive party that is the Republican Party. I can understand why some people, in a sense, want to vote out of fear. And that's kind of what drives people into the political corners that we see today. I mean, hell, if you listen to Tucker Carlson and people on the right, they feel the same way about Democrats. They will literally say, I would never vote Democrat because they are destroying the country. Now, of course, they have their own crazy reasons, but if you ever find yourself sounding just like the other party that you claim is destructive, maybe you need to take a few steps back and figure out what the hell is going on. But I do understand why some people will say vote blue no matter who, because seeing what the Republican Party is capable of is a reason to fear. But we got to be honest and we need to have some sort of principles, some sort of values, because retreating in a way that we are with the current Democratic Party is not going to make anything better. And that's the problem. If voting blue no matter who was actually making things better, then okay, let's do that. But here is 3 reasons, and I'm even going to throw you guys a bonus one. Here is 4 reasons why the vote blue no matter who, MAGA, blue MAGA type cult thing is not going to work in our benefit. All right, so reason number 1, your vote isn't owed. Your vote belongs to you, not a party. And I think this is pretty self-explanatory. And understanding history, understanding Black history, my people and many other people did not put everything on the line. They didn't give their lives. They didn't fight like crazy for us today to now give our vote, one of our square one type of actions we have as Americans. They didn't die for us to automatically give it to a party. They fought for us to have the option and the freedom to express our political feelings in a way that we see fit. My people, my ancestors did not die for me to automatically vote Democrats as if I owe them my vote. That is incorrect. And Martin Luther King, or not Martin Luther, Malcolm X, he said this during his speech, Ballot or the Bullet in 1964. He said this, and I quote, "A ballot is like a bullet. You do not throw your ballot until you see a target. And if that target is not within your reach, you keep your ballot in your pocket." All right, reason number 2, accountability dies. Politicians stop earning votes when loyalty is guaranteed. And once again, this is pretty simple. They have no incentives to make your life better. They have no reason to create or legislate bold progressive policies that benefit you more than corporations. If they already know they have your vote and all they have to do is say, hey, I'm a Democrat, I'm not a Republican, and you're going to vote for them, why would they go through the hassle to try to impress you? Why do they have to have any moral compass if all they have to do is say, I'm a Democrat? That right there takes the responsibility from a politician. This is a democratic republic. We vote for representation. They're supposed to represent us. So voting blue no matter who, or this blue MAGA mentality, that's taking responsibility off politicians and freeloading. They get in a position of power and they don't deserve it. And once again, here is a quote from Malcolm X. He said, "They got all the Negro votes, and after they get it, the Negro gets nothing in return." All right, reason number 3, competition gets crushed. The two-party system grows stronger when alternatives are shut out. And I hear these conversations all the time, and even from Republican voters. We as a nation, this country is sick and tired of the two-party system, blue team versus red team. And there's many different types of Americans within this country. And these two parties do not represent the masses of this country. But what sense does it make if we continue to vote blue no matter who, but yet all we have to do as citizens decide? If we decided today, hey, we are now voting fill in the blank party. It doesn't matter who it is. It's a lot of other valuable third party choices. If we as a country decided this is what we're going to do, this is who we're going to vote for, then that's what's going to happen. But we get stuck in this mentality that these are my only two options. I am stuck between these two. But let me remind you, I don't see that in the Constitution. I don't see that my only choices is Republican or Democrats. We need to understand that power belongs to us. Power belongs to the people, not these politicians and not these corporate political parties. That is the brainwashing that we have adopted and passing down to our kids. At some point, we need to decide when we have more valuable parties to vote from. Because I tell you this, Republicans and Democrats, they can fight about 99 issues, be on polar opposites. But when it comes to consolidating power and wealth, they will band together like the Avengers to black out Green Party, the Workers' Party, any valuable third party. They will band together to make sure there's no alternative options. And that is a problem. All right, and here's a bonus one. Last but not least, leverage disappears. A vote only has power when politicians know they must earn it. Blind loyalty gives away that leverage for free. And this is very simple to understand. What good is your vote if any party, Republicans, Democrats, what good is your vote if they know you have it? That is not democracy. And if both parties are exploiting their constituents. How does that help America? How does that help your material condition if they know they don't have to barely do anything? You lose all the leverage as a voter. That's what you're losing. And then riddle me this: when you vote for them, what power do you have? What are you going to do? Protest? You're going to get on the internet, on YouTube, on Twitter, Instagram, whatever? What are you going to do? Make videos and complain about whatever party is in power? They don't care about your complaining because they have their corporate donors keeping them wealthy. And then here's the dog chasing his tail moment. You're fed up with them. You see that as a Democratic voter myself, I see the Democratic Party marginally doing things, not making my material conditions any better than my parents. And the data backs that up. But then what choice am I left? I'm not voting Republican. I guess I'm still stuck voting Democrat. So at the end of the day, I understand when people reduce this to harm reduction tactics. I understand. I don't want to sit here and pretend as if the Republican Party is dangerous and they're actively trying to not only destroy this country, but it seems like every other country. That is a real threat. So I would never disregard people's attitude against that. But the Republican Party's not going away. Once Trump leaves politics or this earth, the Republican Party's still going to be here. And my fear is Donald Trump is an idiot. Can you imagine a competent, well-spoken, handsome Donald Trump? That is what I'm scared of. So it's always going to be the next boogeyman. So we can't always default, hey, let's vote blue no matter who. Now, I'm a progressive. Okay, I don't know if you can already tell. I'm a progressive 24/7, 365. We need to start voting for candidates that represents our interest. That's not taking corporate or PAC money or foreign entities' money. We need politicians that understand and can read the room and listen to their constituents when they say they want Medicare for all, when they say they want higher wages, when they say they want affordable, if not free, education. We need politicians who are not afraid to craft and advocate for bold, progressive policies. Because once again, you're going to hear me say this a lot on this channel. We do not have the luxury of voting Republican, but we also don't have the luxury of going back to normal. Back to normal is what got us here. So as a progressive, we need more progressive candidates that is willing to go against the grain and actually deliver for the American people. So once again, guys, I appreciate you guys watching. If you made it this far, let me know in the comments. I want to give you a big thank you as a response. But once again, I will be creating videos for you guys every Thursday and Monday. So go ahead, subscribe, ring the bell, like this video, share it with your friends, your families, your loved ones, and I will see you guys in the next video.